Let's start with the basics. Of course, as you know it, if you've been following Candlemass, one of the greatest doom bands to ever exist, they'll be releasing a new album, Sweet Evil Son, next week. So we'll talk a bit about that, of course, and a few other things if the time allows so. So
Yeah.
since I'm with you right now, Johan, you're the vocalist of Candlemass. Um, every fan of Candlemass has known you for a long time, as you are the voice of Epicus Domicus Metallicus, the first Candlemass album released in 1986. I wanted to ask, how does it feel to be back with Candlemass after so many years, starting with The Door to Doom, of course, in 2019, and now for Sweet Evil Son?
Yeah, absolutely. It's perfect. You know, when Mappe called me up 4 years ago, I said, "Yeah, this is the very perfect timing for me." You know, I have a big family. I have 4 kids and 8 grandchildren now, but you know, they're all grown up, my kids. So now these days, I can do pretty much whatever I want. So it was the perfect timing, actually.
And that's great. And so many fans, me included, were surprised to see you coming back, and of course, extremely pleased.
Yeah.
It's great for everyone who's been listening to Candlemass for a long time. I've been listening to Candlemass since I was a teenager, so of course I was happy. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
so now, well, of course, we have to talk about Sweet Evil Son, which is coming next week on November 18th. I wanted to ask whether it was a hard album to create, given that in between your previous record and this one, there was the pandemic, lockdowns, and all that stuff.
No, it wasn't actually. You know, Leif's been working on these songs for a long time, and it is. We do it like this. You know, Leif is home writing songs, and then he's calling me up, and Johan, can we do a demo of a couple of demos? And I said, yeah, of course. And we're going down to the studio and try out the songs that he's writing, and he's going home again and make a couple of changes, and that's pretty much how the songs are born in the very beginning. And then when we've reached the final way the songs are supposed to be, we'll enter the studio again and just try to do the very best. I can speak for myself because, you know, we're doing the modern kind of recording. You know, I have a couple of days in the studio doing the vocals, and then we take a day off or something, and then I go back again. So we we tried out a lot of different kind of vocals on pretty much every song, and had a very good time actually doing the songs. So we're working very good together, me and Leif, and it can't be better actually. You know, he's a great songwriter, and pretty much like that. So the recording hasn't been a problem at all, I can say.
Well, that's great. And
but I have to put in that I'm not working on the sound. I'm not a part of that at all, because I'm almost deaf on one of my ears, so I'm not the right person, mixing and stuff like that. But Leif and Marcus have been working a lot with that, and they have created you've heard it yourself, old school sound in a modern way, something like that.
Yeah, well, it's great to know that everything went well. As a singer, I wanted to ask because I know, or maybe I'm mistaken, but I think Leif also wrote a lot of lyrics for Candlemass over its history. As a singer, do you contribute to the lyrics as well? If yes or not, tell me, of course, what it is, and even if you do not help so much writing them, how do you sing them? I mean, how do you get to sing a Candlemass song?
You know, Leif is a guy that he's coming with both the music and the lyrics, and then of course we can make a couple of changes, changing some words and something like that. But he is the main writer, and he has always been the main writer of the songs in Candlemass. But you know, when we're in the studio recording, we're trying out different kind of styles, and he has no problem at all me trying out things during the recordings. And you know, sometimes he said, wow, this is awesome, and sometimes he said, no, I don't, that's not the right thing to do. And so, but you know, as I told you, we have a good time, so I'm very comfortable with trying out things. So and you know, he is the main writer, but there is no, what do you say, prestige in that. He does not have to be 100% in every song. So he's open-minded for what he thinks is good ideas. Absolutely. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, thank you. That's great. I'll be going back to one of your previous comments about the old school sound of the new album, which I totally agree with. I'd say that Sweet Evil sound, of course, sounds like Candlemass, and I feel that here and there you wanted to pay homage to other titans of doom like Black Sabbath, and also to go back maybe to the roots of the sound of Epicus, Domicus, Metallicus, of course with all the modern stuff that you can use today to record. And that's the first thing I think I felt when listening to the first single, Scandinavian Gods, when it was released. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. In a way, we are back in the 80s because we're at the same age and we did that very first album together. But you know, it's hard to give you an answer on that. You know, it's pretty simple. You know, I love what we're doing, and Leif, he has new energy now, and I guess that shows in the songs in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know if you can elaborate on the kind of sound. Did you try to reach purposely to something specifically old school, or did you just let it flow?
When it comes to, did you mean when it comes to my vocals?
Yeah, or the music in general.
No, no, you know, I'm just doing it out of my heart and speaking for myself. And yeah, you have to be true to yourself. You know, I can't copy someone else. Of course, I've got my favorite singers in life, uh, but you know, there's no point in trying to copy stuff at all. Actually, you know, you have to like what you're doing, and I think when you are yourself, I think that's the best you can do.
Of course, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So moving on, as I've been saying earlier, I've been a fan of a band for a fairly long time, although not since its inception because I'm younger than that. But um,
Okay.
um, uh, I always felt, tell me if I'm wrong, that there's something like a romantic influence to your music from like 19th century romanticism. It's something that shows on albums like Nightfall or Ancient Dreams, some of the earlier ones, as they've been using paintings of Thomas Cole as their covers, who is a 19th century romantic
Yeah,
painter.
yeah,
And I'd say that also in Sweet Evil Son, there is still a lot of this grandiose, nearly religious imagery, which we often find in romantic art on tracks such as Angel Battle, Crucified, or Goddess on the new record.
yeah.
Do you feel that romanticism is a genuine inspiration in Candlemass and this record?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we all have been growing up in pretty much under the same circumstances. We're all from the suburbs, and none of us have ever been such rich or something. So you know, when you're young kid and you're poor, you have to think big and dream a lot, and maybe that shows when it comes to writing music. If you grew up in a way like that, I don't know. You know, we're not guys playing, doing dance music or something like that. Why? Because it wouldn't feel right to do that. So yeah, absolutely. You have to be romantic in a way, and see the light in the dark. That's very important.
you've been saying a light in the dark. Maybe, I don't know if you have comments on the title of the album, Sweet Evil Sun. Well, there's the sun and here's the light in the darkness, but that light is fairly dark in the end because it's evil. Could you comment on the title?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a hate and love relationship in a way. Sometimes things you want to reach success in a way in life that I guess that's something that everybody wants to do, to be succeed in a way, whatever you want to do. I want a house, I want to play music, whatever it is, and sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to be. So sometimes you can lose your ground during the way, and I guess that's what this whole record is about. It's about ambition, striving, hope, but also failure. And you fail in life. That's a part of life in a way, actually, and you don't have to be afraid to talk about that. You do mistakes, but it's not over. That's not the end. Hopefully you can rise up again and do something better the very next time. So I think that's what the album is about in a way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Next, I want to ask you, it's something kind of like a joke, I'd say, about the outro of the album, which is entitled A Cup of Coffin. Well, of course, I guess it's a play on words on a cup of coffee. It feels obvious. And for some reason, I did not understand it right on first sight, and then I got it. I just wanted to ask who came up with that play on words, and does it have any kind of deeper meaning to you or to the band? Why is it there?
Not to me personally. It's just a way that it suits pretty good in the very end. And I think that guy has been talking on a record back in time, and that they wanted something like that again. So, and actually, I wasn't involved in that so very much. So I just enjoyed it when I heard it.
Yeah, and about the end of the album, I don't know if it's related to the outro to some extent. On the last song before the outro, Goddess, I found it interesting that the lyrics end by the beginning of the end. At the end of an album, well, of course, it's foreboding because it announces the end of the album to some extent, of course, but also the end of what? It's not just the end of the album, of course. What is it the end of there? Considering also maybe the grim atmosphere that Candlemass can have as well.
Do you mean especially the song Goddess, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm unfortunately pretty tired right now, so I haven't got the very meaning of of the goddess in my head for the moment. I'm sorry for that, but
It's fine.
it's about a female god. God does not have to be a male.
Yeah. But so, is it announcing like the end of the world, or more than the end of the album? That was more or less my question.
Yeah. When it comes to this album, also includes the fear of death. When death sighs, and we're not 20 years old anymore. You never knows what happens next year, and it's pretty much includes life, all the ups and downs, death and dark, and but in a way, I think it creates some kind of a hope. At least I hope so, because it's not always dark out there.
Yeah. Of course. And I do believe that the album does both. That's at least what I felt. Of course, it's grim, it's Candlemass, but there is still a light, as evil as it can be, I guess.
Yeah. You don't want people to be unhappy and think that everything is just shit, because it's not.
Yeah,
Fortunately, there are a lot of great and loving people out there.
of course.
So if you haven't met anyone so far, you will do in life.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess we're going to start smoothly running out of time. Well, we never know what comes next year after that, of course, but you're going to release an album in a few days. Have you started planning tours or concerts here and there, or not yet?
Yeah, we actually have got a couple of shows left this year. We're doing one here in Sweden, and then I think we have one in Germany left. And our ambition for next year is actually to do a lot of festivals, if it's possible. There are a lot of bands still standing in line for doing the festivals because of the COVID. I guess you know about that.
Of course.
Yeah, so but that's what we want. We want to be out there playing music for the ones who want to hear it.
Well, I sure would like to hear it again. I've seen Candlemass a few years ago, and I'm always up for more.
Okay, perfect.
um,
Thank you.
so I hope to see you on tour or at a festival sometime next year, probably. Do you have anything to add? Any words? Anything you like to say about the record? Anything?
Yeah, as we always have we had a very good time doing this record, and Leif has been working very hard on the songs, and he has even said that it could be one of the best, maybe the best album that he has ever written, and he's very proud of what we've done together on this album. And I really do hope, if you're a Candlemass fan, that you like what you hear.
Well, Napalm Records has been nice enough to send me the promo, and I liked what I heard. That's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. That is actually what is important.
That's great. Well, before we call it quits for today, I'd like to thank you again for being here with me today. Thanks also, of course, to Napalm Records for the possibility of doing this, and to your French promoter who gave me your contact, of course. I hope to see you again. For the people who will be listening and watching to this interview online, we also will have on our website a review of the album, which is already written and will be published in a few days.
Okay,
Coming up alongside the interview. And I hope you enjoy it as well as enjoy the new album, of course, Sweet Evil Son, which will be released on November 18th in just 10 days.
Yeah, it's very close now.
Yeah. So see you next time, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Hakim, for calling me up. It was great talking to you, man.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.